how are you? I'm Rachel. I'm here with that hashtag show. I'm ready to talk about this wonderful, crazy movie. How are you doing today?
Yeah, good, good. Thanks for taking the time.
So this was what, your second directorial film? How did it feel to get back behind the camera for this one?
Great. I wish it didn't take so long. It was incredibly difficult to get this film made, so I had to wait a while. But I'm so happy that we got to do it finally, and I'm so proud of the film.
Yeah, and it's definitely first off, I love body horror movies. They're great. And I feel like recently, especially with like the success of The Substance, it's kind of like gotten like a second wind and more people are kind
Mm.
of being able to see it. So it's good that this finally was able to be out and for people to see it. What kind of drew you to wanting to do this movie in particular?
Well, in 2018, when we were trying to make this movie, it was not popular in at all as a genre space, and I think that was a part of the motivation. Was I thought, wow, um, this is the kind of movie I would love to go and see. This combination of sort of Death Becomes Her and sort of something more like a Paul Verhoeven movie. That was a really exciting combination. And like you said, I think the success of these movies has proven that there was an audience for them. And sometimes it just takes the money side a little bit longer to catch up with the audience side.
Yeah, no, and things might be changing a little bit for the better, which is good because I think this is the perfect time for this movie to come out. I think
Great.
it's October. It's practically Halloween already, and it's just one
I
of those
know. I love that.
and it's one of those stories that is just like incredibly relevant to our times right now, specifically because we're all obsessed with trying to look the best and kind of doing
Hmm.
whatever necessary to get there and not kind of realizing those consequences until the consequences catch up to you.
Totally, totally. It's like the social media effect. I feel like it's like we're all on camera all the time now, so
Yeah.
we're a bit more vain than we used to be.
And then obviously you got to work with Elisabeth Moss again. How was that? Was she a choice or did you bring her on? How'd that work?
Yeah, we talked about we talked about finding something to do together in this
Mhm.
dynamic. I'd never wanted to send shelter her because I was afraid she'd say no, and I thought it'd be very awkward because we worked together. Um, and so I was very hesitant to do that. And eventually, she was sort of so persistent about reading it that I sort of sent it to her, and she, thank God, said yes because I think she's the perfect person for it. And it's so funny. I knew that Samantha had to be very funny in the film, and I knew she'd be able to do that beautifully.
Yeah, she absolutely did. And is there anything that you particularly love shooting about this film? Like, there's a lot of really neat shots, a lot of really cool things. Was there any specific scenes or moments that stick out to you?
Yeah, a few for sure. It's a really fun movie to shoot. I would say the opening scene with Elizabeth Berkley was really probably my favorite thing to do, just because when I wrote the scene, whatever it was, like 6 years previously, I imagined her in the scene. I sort of imagined it in quite a specific visual, just the sort of the setups and all of that. I had quite a clear sense of what I wanted to do. And I think when you get to realize something so fully for a filmmaker, it's a lovely feeling. Doesn't always happen, but when you get to really kind of translate exactly what you have in your brain onto the screen, it's very, very satisfying.
So I feel I and this was kind of just like a perfect translation, I feel like for you because you've done so much in your career. You've been behind the camera, you've been producing, you've been acting. So, obviously you'll probably do more films, like directing more films after this. Do you have any kind of genre that you really kind of want to hop into?
You know what? I love all kinds of movies so much, and maybe to my detriment, but I love all genres of film, and I hope to just keep making them. That's really my only ambition at this point. Is I love doing it. I find it very fulfilling, so I hope I get to do more.
Yeah, hopefully do you have like a dream collab that you want to do with an actor or anybody?
Oh, dream collab. That's such a. You know what? This is slightly sort of morbid, but I saw Paul Walker on screen the other day, and I was so sad that I never got to work with Paul Walker because I thought he was such a movie star, um, and that would have been a really fun actor to direct for sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, and I feel That is really one of those ones that just kinda cuts deep because you can imagine how
Yeah, yeah,
he
yeah.
would have done and what he would have contributed
For
to
sure. I feel like he had
film.
a lot more stuff to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And, with these kinds of movies, obviously, I talked about it being a very prescient topic, very socially relevant topic. When people watch this, like whether or not, like what they identify as, like whether or not, female, male, non-binary, or whatever, what do you want them to take away from it? Like, what do you want them to kind of like think about when the credits roll?
Nothing. Nothing other than having a great time. I really hope that they don't have to think too much at all watching this film. It was designed just to be really fun and distracting, hopefully, and entertaining and memorable. I want it to be memorable, but not for anything, intellectual reasons. Hopefully they just have a great time, and hopefully they want to watch it again at some point.
And I love that. I think that we need more movies that are just fun. And I we don't have enough of them where you just go in kinda like not necessarily turn off your brain, but just go in and have a good time and leave the movie talking to your friends about it and being like, "You know what? I'll remember this movie."
I hope so. I hope so. That's a dream.
Yeah, I think they will, 'cause it's very exciting, there was a lot that I truly did love about it, and everybody was just cast and done so perfectly in this movie. Did you have, like was there anything that maybe was, like, a last minute ad that got put in, or was the script
Mhm.
pretty tight from the beginning?
Oh, the script was pretty tight from the beginning. I would say with casting, I'm really obsessive about casting, but really fucking slow with it. And the part that SD Heim played, that was quite last minute, just because I'd never want to pull the trigger until I feel like we had the exact right person. I kept sort of going over and over that decision in my head, and once I fell on SD as an idea, I couldn't let go of it. But it was very late in my process of thinking, and I'm so happy that she did it because I actually think her performance in the movie is invaluable. It's not a huge part, but I think what she brings to the movie helps us so much, and I'm so happy she did it.
That was it that yeah, I never would have thought that that would be a last minute addition. She kinda seems like she was just there and ready
Great, good.
from the
Yeah,
beginning.
she feels
No, for
very
sure.
organic. She feels very organic in the movie. It was my fault for taking so long to figure it
No, perfection takes time. That's what I always
out.
say. So take all the time you need. You know what? The movie is finally out. It's finally hit its release date. So I'm very happy that people are going to be able to see this, and I can't wait to see it again personally myself. And congrats again. Thank you for chatting with me today about it.
Thank you, Rachel. Appreciate it.